Why, hello there. I'm Sin. We are in the Book Nook, and today we're going to talk about my past, present, and future of books. What I've just finished, what I'm in the middle of, and what we're going to get into. All right, so we're going to talk about another book that I DNF'd. This one kind of bummed me out because I was excited about this one too. So recently, I DNF'd the book Elfie by Gregory Maguire. And this is a prequel from Wicked. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West and her childhood and all that. And I ended up DNFing it because it's a third person narrator. It's basically God up there on a cloud in the sky and he's looking down at the world of Elphelba and he's narrating the story. But it's so like disconnected. I couldn't connect to any of the characters. Now, caveat. It's written as if you're watching a play. Now, if I was watching this play, I feel like I could probably maybe connect to the characters, but not seeing it visually and just having it kind of like telling the story, but just not, I don't know. I want my characters to be vibrant and to leap off the page. And I felt like Elphaba had so much of that to bring as a character, from what we know of Wicked and that whole storyline, and then also, Wizard of Oz, that part as well. Like there's a lot to that character. And so it bummed me out that that I just couldn't get into it. Third person narrator is either hit or miss for me a lot of times. And this one just I kept trying and I kept trying and I couldn't do it. Other people might like it. It is, if you're a big Wicked fan, if you don't mind reading third person narrators, then it might be for you. But it wasn't for me. It wasn't that it was bad, it was well written. It had good flow. It just, I wasn't connecting to the story. I wanted to be in the story. I didn't want to be outside looking in and looking down. Sometimes this happens. All right, so currently, I am not too far in, but I just started the book Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, and I really like how this author writes. I am a fan. This is the second book that I've read by her. This one's about the main character, Zelu, and Zelu was teaching at a university and she loses her job. She is disabled, so she is in a wheelchair. She doesn't believe in marriage. She's an author. She's been trying to get her newest book out there, but she's submitted it like 10 different times to different publishers and no one's been accepting it. So she starts writing a new book and it's called Rusted Robots. And it's about these robots that they're sentient. And there's the Humes, which are in an actual body, like a kind of human-ish body. They got two legs, two arms, head, torso. And then there's also the AI that they call the nobodies, and they are just, AI. They're in the ether, they're in the networks or whatever. These robots, the Humes, some of them like to go around and gather data and collect stories and knowledge and such. And so we're just getting into the story part of this. And so also with the story, it bounces around to different perspectives. So you have Zelu's perspective, then you get her father's perspective, you have her sister's perspective. It comes in the story. She's at this wedding in like Tobago and her sister's getting married. She finds out at the wedding that she's fired from her job. And she got fired from her job because she couldn't hold her tongue because she had a pretentious student who wrote a really terrible story who was always kind of like pushing her buttons. She's like, what do you think your story means? And he was all like, well, why don't you tell me what it means? Blah, blah, blah. And then she just like couldn't take it anymore. And so she exploded and gave it back to him. And he was super offended and cried. And then the rest of the class went all and told on her. And we're like, we're emotionally upset and whatnot. And she ends up getting fired, which sucks. She doesn't really react to this too much at the wedding, a little bit. Like, she's holding it inside and she meets this guy. I'm not really sure how to say his name, so if I butcher this, I apologize. I think it's like Masizi. Masizi. It's Msizi. So she meets him. They kind of hook up, and then after the wedding, they keep in touch a bit. But yeah, so she's writing this book about these robots. The whole premise of this book is that like her real life starts to bleed into the fictional one in the world she's creating. And so far I'm loving it. I like the writing. I am invested in the story. That's what I'm reading tonight. Once I'm done filming and doing some editing stuff, I'm gonna go read some more of that book. And I'm super stoked because it's really good so far. Now we're going to get into what I'm going to get into in the future. Picked up a few books from the library. My favoriteest place ever. All right, so I've been hearing about this book. I have no idea what it's about. It's by Bob the Drag Queen. and it is Harriet Tubman live in concert. I like to grab random things from the library if it's a vibe. I've heard good things so far. So let's tell you about it. In an age of miracles, where our greatest heroes from history have magically, unexplainably returned to shake us out of our confusion and complacency, Harriet Tubman is back, and she's got a lot to say. Harriet and four of the enslaved persons she led to freedom want to tell their story in a unique way. Harriet wants to create a hip hop album and a live show about her life, and she needs a songwriter to help her. She calls upon Darnell, a once successful hip hop producer who was topping the charts. Darnell has no idea what to expect when he steps into the studio with Harriet, only that they have a few days to write a legendary album she can take on the road. Over the course of their time together, they not only create music that will take the country by storm, but confront the horrors of both their pasts and learn a way to find a better future. I'll let you know my future thoughts on Harriet Tubman live in concert by Bob the Drag Queen. After this one, I have heard so much mixed stuff about this one, but I do love me some Stephen Graham Jones, so I got Buffalo Hunter. Why did I say it like that? Buffalo Hunter. Just sing it. Just sing the book titles. Why? Why not? All right, Buffalo Hunter, Stephen Graham Jones. Let's tell you about this. All right, so we got a historical novel. So this chilling historical novel is set in the nascent days of the state of Montana, following a Blackfeet Indian named Good Stab as he haunts the fields of the Blackfeet Nation looking for justice. It begins when a diary written in 1912 by a Lutheran pastor is discovered within a wall in 2012. What is unveiled is a slow massacre, a nearly forgotten chain of events that goes back to 217 Blackfeet dead in the snow, told in the transcribed interviews with Good Stab, who shares the narrative of his peculiar and unnaturally long life over a series of confessional visits. This is an American Indian revenge story captured in the vivid voices of the time by one of the new masters of literary horror, Stephen Graham Jones. So yeah, I have heard super mixed stuff about this, so I wanted to form my own opinion as I am apt to want to do. I'll probably like it because I do like Stephen Graham Jones. So we'll see. So yeah, Buffalo Hunter. We'll definitely have a standalone review for that coming in the future. Okay, so this next book I got it because the cover is just, it really grabs you. Or it grabbed me. It might not grab you. Maybe. But they're Monstrous Hearts by Yigit Turman. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. Yigit. But like, yeah, look at the nails and the butterfly. I thought that was pretty cool. So let's tell you about it. Oh yeah, also like the sprayed edges. I thought that was cool looking too. A mysterious stranger shows up at Ricardo's apartment with some news. His grandmother, Parahan, has died, and Ricardo has inherited her villa in Milan, along with her famed butterfly collection. Okay, that explains the butterfly. The struggling writer is out of options. He's hoping the change of scenery in Milan will inspire him, and maybe there will be some money to keep him afloat. Perhaps. But Parahan's house isn't as opulent as he remembers. The butterflies pinned in their glass cases seem more ominous than artful. Parahan's group of mysterious old friends is constantly lurking, and there's something wrong in the greenhouse. As Ricardo explores the decrepit estate, he stumbles upon Parahan's diary, which might hold the key to her mysterious death, or at least give him some inspiration he needs to finish his manuscript. But he might not survive long enough to write it. I love in books when they find an old diary that holds like the secrets to like what the F is going on, or at least like gives you a little bit of clues here and there. I'm a fan of that. It kind of reminds me of like old mysteries I would read when I was younger and some Nancy Drew stuff and whatnot. All right, so what are we most looking forward to? Well, right now, the current book I'm reading, Death of the Author, I'm really looking forward to getting into that. But out of those, I think they're Monstrous Hearts. I don't know. Like what's going on in the greenhouse? As a person who likes to garden, I like weird stuff going on with like it might not even be plants, but you tell me greenhouse, I'm like, what's in the greenhouse? Sentient plant life? A poison garden? Is this floor dirt? And then maybe there's bodies buried in there? We don't know. We don't know. I'm really intrigued. So I think that one I might be most excited for. Yeah. What are you guys getting into this week? What are you reading? Let me know. I'm always curious. So, if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.